All right, boys and girls, hope you enjoyed the story we read earlier. If you give a pig a party, and then hopefully you went ahead and worked on your spring into reading page. Can't wait again to see what your favorite story is that you picked. All right, let's go ahead and move on into our reading. Of course, we've been talking every day last week. I mentioned you need to continue reading. I know if you've read in your readers a lot already, you might be looking for something else. Don't forget, Mom and Dad, that epic website that you can go to and look at some things to read. Also, another website that, and I'll put it on Google Classroom, starfall.com. And I've mentioned that to some of you, I think even back at conference time. There's letter practice, but there's also reading, a lot of great free website that you could look at. So I'll mention that on Google Classroom, but again, Starfall, just for something else to read. Because again, boys and girls, we do need to continue to read. All right, we want to keep up those reading skills, and that fluency is what we're shooting for. Mom and Dad, we want to get to the point that we're reading just like we're talking. We do use a lot of strategies, of course, sounding out and marking, decoding, but we do want to progress further from that, and that's what we'd be definitely working on into the fourth quarter, is reading fluently, reading just like we're talking. But to get to that point, of course, takes a lot of practice. That practice makes progress. And so this today I want to talk a little more about our blends. Last week we talked about 6 specific 6L blends. If you remember, boys and girls, we talked about blah, cla, fla, gla, and pla. Whoops, I almost forgot sla. Those were some L blends, and last week you were able to draw a picture and color some word to go with those blends. All right, now, Mom and Dad, probably the one things I'm struggling a little bit with is this can be such a worksheet-driven curriculum if we're not careful with Becca. As great as it is, all the worksheets, it's great to see how the kids are doing, and I definitely need to see that. We do a lot together, but of course, that independent work also is so important. So today I want to give you a couple of ideas and maybe something you can do at home in addition to the worksheet. Of course, we definitely need to do that. We need to have that time looking at the words, marking the vowels, and working on this. But at the same time, we want to make it a little interactive. Just a quick, easy thing to do the kids might enjoy doing is take those 6 blends that we just mentioned. If you can, maybe put them on a piece of paper, spread them out on the floor, kind of give some space. If the children have like a bing bag or something small that they can kind of throw, just a fun little quick reminder would be just to have the children take that bing bag, even something as small as my little notepad that you have, and kind of give it a toss, and as they toss it, they have to say it or say the sound, say the word. And you can do that with short vowels, you can do that with long vowels. If you see that there's any letters they've kind of forgotten the sounds for, just a quick little review, a quick little game, something fun other than a worksheet for them to do. I know there's a ton of websites out there available for review letters and sounds, and those are great too. But if you're kind of looking for something just quick and fun, again, scrap piece of paper, write those blends, or short vowel, long vowel, and spread them on the floor. Maybe some brothers and sisters can join in, take turns. You got to toss it, whatever it lands on, you make that sound. And then make it a little harder. You got to make that sound and a word that comes at the beginning. So if I toss it and I hit PL, pla, I got to think of a word, plug, something that comes with it. Just something to kind of mix up the work and learning the sounds in a little fun way. But of course, that's always fun. But boys and girls, we also do need to do our worksheet. When we look at this, we see 129 and 130. Again, we've mentioned last week, every time Miss Paris reminds you, first and last name at the top. It does have a house, so we put our first and last name with that finger space. I'm sure you're very good at that and very quick with that. And then, of course, again, we still have our vowels to mark and read the words. After we read the words, we're going to circle the word that matches the picture. So read through those as you are marking and circling to match. Mom and Dad, again, it's super important that we practice reading. Just like reading in our readers, these words go along with our Rebecca readers. So these are all skills they've learned, all skills they know, and should be able to read through these. Again, we're working on fluency, going a little faster on that. So work on that, matching up. At the bottom, keep working on those blends and sounds. And then today it looks like, boys and girls, you got some pretty coloring to do after you match up. So pretty easy. Make sure we're hearing the sounds. Make sure we are saying the sounds correctly. As you move to the back, again, we're going to mark the vowels and read the words. Keep up that skill. And this one, this sometimes might take a little longer. It's kind of, we call it like a puzzle page when we do it. Boys and girls, if you remember, this is where they gave us maybe the beginning letter and the end letter, and they left out the middle letter. Or maybe they left out the end letter. Wherever that dash is, Mom and Dad, you can see is the letters missing. So, boys and girls, we call this a puzzle page. This is something we would do together. We would sound it out. Oftentimes we might try and sound both letters and see which one makes the most sense. If I go og, rog, that was an O, didn't really sound like a word I know. I better try the other letter. Ag, rag. Which one of those sounds like a real word, boys and girls? Yeah, definitely rag. So we would fill in under the A, and that's of course a fancy A, we know that, and that's our ah sound. All right, so Mom and Dad, it's super important that they sound it out, that they're listening. This is a good training for the ears. Remember, we're always training the eye and we're always training the ear to hear and see those sounds. So that's kind of a fun puzzle page we would do together. Some of those words that don't make sense can be really silly. And then it looks like we can color the bear if we would like. And then at the bottom, we've got a sentence. And again, we do the same thing. This is a sentence. Starts with a capital. They've already done it for us. All we have to do is read it and figure out which word makes a sense. Remember, they even put their period on the sentence too, just like we do when we do our handwriting. Make sure you read through that. If they always need to mark the vowels, that's okay. If they don't need to, that's all right too. That is a skill we're hopefully moving away, a strategy that we're hopefully moving away from as we read. But on some of these, of course, we definitely need to practice marking just to help our brain. All right, so make sure you're working on this, boys and girls, the front and the back, our first and last name at the top like always. And again, Mom and Dad, just a quick little fun game there if you want to spread those sounds out. And it doesn't have to be just the blends. You can definitely do that with short A, whatever letters you're seeing their struggle with. That would be super helpful if they could just make sure we want to get those nailed down. They look at those letters, they look at those blends, they should be able to say them fairly quickly. We've worked on those a lot. So boys and girls, work on your phonics. Hopefully you finished your handwriting. And when we come back, we'll look at our math for today. All right. Hope your Monday's still going well. Take care.